What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Flame Entertainment and Sports. It's your boy Rob here. Welcome to the new era of the Flame Entertainment and Sports. Make sure to keep up with us on social media, on Instagram and TikTok at the Flame_ES. On today's show, going to be covering a lot of entertainment topics, including Dancing with the Stars, as the cast for season 33 was announced yesterday morning on Good Morning America. Then we move on to some One Tree Hill talk as a sequel series is being picked up at Netflix with Sophia and Hilarie at the helm of the ship there for the sequel series. Then we're going to talk about a little bit about Gossip Girl, as last week there was a couple weddings within the Gossip Girl universe. Then we move on to some talk about Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco, as people are talking that they might be engaged. Then we move on to some VMAs predictions that I have, as that award show will be coming up next Wednesday night on September 11th. And then in the entertainment world, we finish off with some Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, which then, of course, leads us to our sports portion of today's show. As we cover the NFL, I go over my season predictions, including my pick for the Super Bowl. Then I give my thoughts on multiple games happening in week 1 this week in the NFL, including tonight's kickoff game between the Ravens and Chiefs, live on NBC and Peacock at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, guys, just really quickly, just want to show you guys my assistant right here. His name is Mambo, and he's the best. All right, guys, so for the entertainment portion on this episode of the Flame Entertainment and Sports, before I get into detail, just to let you guys know really quick, the topics we'll be covering on this episode. Going to be starting off with some Dancing with the Stars talk, as the cast of season 33 was officially unveiled on Good Morning America. Then we're going to move into One Tree Hill, as a sequel is reportedly in the works at Netflix with Sophia and Hilarie at the top of that sequel series of One Tree Hill. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Gossip Girl, as multiple cast members of the show got married within the past week. We're also going to talk a little bit about someone who's a good friend of Ed Westwick, who of course played Chuck Bass and who was in attendance at his wedding. And then finally, we'll be ending with some Selena Gomez, Benny Blanco talk. Of course, everyone's wondering, are Selena and Benny engaged? Now we're going to move on to the VMAs, as they will be occurring next week, next Wednesday on 9/11, September 11th. We're going to get into, some potential predictions I have in terms of like performances and, some alleged drama, of course, going down between Sabrina Carpenter, Shawn Mendes, and Camila Cabello. And the three of them will be there and will be performing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then finally, to round up the entertainment talk for today, we'll be covering some Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce talk. Of course, the NFL season, begins tonight, actually, as Tay Trav and the Chiefs host the Baltimore Ravens. And everyone's wondering, will Taylor Swift be in attendance? Of course, she has a little break now from the Eras Tour. Until October 18th here in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. Everyone's wondering, will she be in attendance at that first game tonight against the Baltimore Ravens? And yeah, so now to start off with the first topic, I mentioned Dancing with the Stars. For those of you that don't know, I'm a huge fan of Dancing with the Stars, and I'm planning on covering it going forward on every episode, as season 33 is set to begin in just a couple weeks. And we got the news yesterday morning on Good Morning America. The cast of season 33 was officially unveiled, and I couldn't be more excited. Dancing with the Stars is one of my favorite shows of all time. But before I get into the cast unveilment, I want to mention someone on Twitter, or X now. The person's X handle is Jazz, JAZZD, myself. And Jazz myself actually spoiled the cast of season 33 of Dancing with the Stars on Tuesday, ahead of Wednesday morning's cast announcement on GMA. She just missed one couple, but it seems like that extra couple that was added was kind of a last minute thing, and that couple ended up being Jen Tran, who of course is the Bachelorette, and Sasha Farber, who of course is a longtime contestant on the show, and who actually, I would say, led an underdog team last season on season 32, as him and Allison Hannigan made it all the way to the finale. With that said, now I'm going to go over, these couples competing this season on Dancing with the Stars. First off, We're gonna start off with Joey, who of course is the most recent bachelor. So for the first time in Dancing with the Stars history, we're gonna have a bachelor going up against a bachelorette. And it's funny too because Jen came off of Joey's season, and now they're gonna be competing against one another for the Mirror Ball Trophy. And I just think that's a super cool idea. And super cool idea from everyone there at ABC, Robert Mills, and the whole team over there. I think it's smart because obviously, it's become a trend now where, basically in each season, we expect someone from the Bachelor franchise to appear on the show. But the fact that they added two, I think is a very smart move. And I would say that Joey's recent Bachelor season was one of the most popular in recent time. And also Jen's season, which actually ended on Tuesday night. After the final rose, Jen actually took the social media on Wednesday to let people know that right after filming that, she had to go straight to the airport to fly to New York to be there for the GMA cast announcement Wednesday. And it's allegedly being reported as well that Sasha Farber had to get on the last minute flight as well on Tuesday night from California to New York in order to be there as well for the GMA cast announcement for Dancing with the Stars. So yeah, we have Joey, the Bachelor, and he'll be partnered up with one of the all-time great pros on the show, Jenna Johnson. Of course, she's a champion of the show. And something I always say with Jenna is that regardless of who her partner is, I feel that they're always going to have a chance to compete for that mirror ball because she just has that extra it factor. Or she just really knows how to get the best out of each celebrity that she's paired up with every season, and that makes sense. So I think Joey and Jenna are going to be a fun couple to watch. Two, very likable personalities, and I think they're going to do a great job. The next couple is Ilana Maher and Alan Burston. Ilana, of course, recently blew up within the last couple months. She was a rugby player for Team USA in the Olympics, and she's also a huge social media sensation on Instagram and specifically on TikTok as well. And of course, Alan, he's one of the most, just like Jenna, one of the most beloved pros on this show. He has such a huge following, such a huge fan base, and he's just a very likable person to root for. And after seeing some videos and recently learning about Ilana, I think her and Alan are going to be a perfect pairing because they're both very likable. They like to have a lot of fun. But with that said, they're also very competitive. So I think they're going to be a great match together. The next couple to talk about, we have Eric Roberts and Britt Stewart. So Eric Roberts, for those of you that don't know, he's a longtime actor. He's the brother of Julia Roberts, who of course is one of the most famous actresses of all time. Of course, I would say her main movie is probably Pretty Woman. And and he's also the father of Emma Roberts, who of course is also another beloved actress that's been in a lot of things. One that comes to mind, I haven't even watched the show, but it was popular, is Scream Queens. I know she was on that. So yeah, Eric Roberts, he'll be partnered up with Britt Stewart, who, is, she's been an incredible pro on her first few seasons on the show. She was in the troupe for a while. And actually, for those of you that don't know, before her Dancing with the Stars career, just a little fun fact, that I am a huge fan of this movie franchise. Britt actually appeared as a background dancer in the High School Musical movies. So I thought I would just mention that. Next up, we have Brooks Nader and Gleb. So Brooks Nader, she was recently on the cover of Sports Illustrated. She's like a big-time model right now in the modeling world. And yeah, her partner Gleb, he's a long-time, fan favorite. All the girls love Gleb. And I think this is a great pairing. And honestly, they kind of look like a couple. Seeing them on the GMA announcement, like in the studio together, they kind of look like they're like married or something. It's interesting to see them together. They both kind of give off. Obviously, Brooks is a model, but Gleb always gives off that model type of vibe. If that makes sense. So I think they're gonna be an interesting pair to keep up with this season. Next up, we have Phaedra Parks and Val. Phaedra, she's a longtime Real Housewife of Atlanta. And most recently, she gained even more popularity and attention on season 2 of Traders US, which is on Peacock, and it's one of the best reality shows of all time. It's really the first reality show of that nature where contestants compete in challenges and stuff like that I've actually watched, and I've loved both seasons of the show actually. And Phaedra is actually, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched, but she was one of the traders actually on her season of the Traders. And yeah, ever since then, she's just gained even more popularity beyond even the housewife world and the Bravo world, if that makes sense. And then she's partnered up with Val, who's a legendary figure on Dancing with the Stars. He's a multi-time mirror ball champion. Yeah, he's always there towards the end. Him and Sochi obviously did amazing together this past season 32. And yeah, I think Phaedra and Val are going to be a fun couple to keep up with. I think people are really going to love seeing these two big personalities together on that ballroom floor. Yeah, on Dancing with the Stars. Next up, we have Danny Amendola and Whitney Carson. That's right, Whitney Carson. After taking season 32 off, she is back on Dancing with the Stars, and it's going to be great. Of course, the mirror ball champ. She won with Alfonso Ribeiro, who of course is now one of the co-hosts of the show, alongside Julianne Hough. It's going to be great to see Whitney back on Dancing with the Stars, and she's paired up with Danny Amendola, longtime NFL receiver, played for multiple teams, St. Louis Rams, my Miami Dolphins. Gotta mention that, even though it was a short time, they're still my Miami Dolphins. And then, of course, he's a Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. He was part of that, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker type of role for Tom Brady and that Patriots offense for many years. So I think they're going to be a cool couple to keep up with. Of course, Danny, obviously, he's mainly known, for football. He's also known in pop culture, for some relationship stuff. And then he was on Special Forces. Along with another guy who I'll mention later, who was also on this cast of Dancing with the Stars. Next up, we have Anna Delvey and Ezra Sosa. That's right, we have a brand new pro to Dancing with the Stars last year. It was Riley Arnold in her rookie year. Now we have Ezra Sosa in his rookie year as a pro. He's been a part of the show the last 3 years as a troop member, but now he's officially a pro. So congratulations to Ezra. I've been pulling for this for a couple of years now. You could ask my sister. I've been wanting Ezra to be a pro for a while now. I've loved him from day one. Gives great vibes, great energy, and it just seems like he gets along with everyone. And then he's partnered up with an interesting figure. You could call her Anna Delvey, who of course is known, for pretending to be an heiress and just scamming a bunch of people. She's actually in house arrest right now. Not house arrest, but she has like an ankle monitor on. So I don't want to say the wrong terms, but yeah, she has the ankle monitor on, but she's being allowed to compete on Dancing with the Stars. So they're going to be an interesting couple, kind of a la Carol Baskin, Pasha Pashkov a couple of years ago. It's kind of giving that vibe, but of course, Anna's younger than Carol. Ezra is a rookie. Pasha is a rookie as well with Carol Baskin. So it's going to be interesting to see Anna Delvey and Ezra. Then we have Reginald Bell Johnson, who of course is mainly known for his time on Family Matters, the iconic sitcom. Of course, with one of the most iconic characters being Urkel. So yeah, Reginald Bell Johnson, he's on the show, and he's partnered up with arguably my favorite pro, Emma Slater. She is my favorite pro. I don't know if I ever talked about her on the podcast. I can't remember, but I would say the last 4 or 5 years, I've been able to attend the Dancing with the Stars tour. Whenever they've come here to Hollywood, to Miami at the Hard Rock in Hollywood. And this past tour was, it just gets better and better. That's what me and my sister always say. But this past tour specifically was the best one yet. I actually wore a custom shirt with like Emma's picture on it. She loved it. She took a picture of me, posted me on her Instagram story. When we took group pictures with the cast, she hugged me, and she was just like super cool, and she's everything you think she is. It's not like an act or anything. She's exactly what she shows on social media and on the show. That's exactly who she is. Just a super humble, down to earth type of person. And I think her and Reginald, you could call them sleepers. I think they can make some noise, or they could go further than what people are expecting as of right now. And I'm just always excited to see Emma on the show. And I'm super excited to see her paired up with Reginald this season 33. Then we have Chandler Kinney, who's currently on Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, alongside Bailey Madison and others. And she's partnered up with Brandon Armstrong. She's also from a couple of the Disney Channel zombie movies. I believe she's in the second and third and maybe fourth. And yeah, she's partnered up with Brandon Armstrong, who was a huge figure this past season 32, alongside his partner Lele Pons. I think for the first time in the history of the show, for those of you that don't remember, after Lele and Brandon were voted off the show, the following day, or I don't know if it was the following day or the following week, there was actually people protesting outside of the Dancing with the Stars studios in support of Lele and Brandon. And next up, we have Steven Nedorosik, I think I pronounced that right, and Riley Arnold. Steven was just a big time winner at the Olympics. He's a break dancer, 22 years old, a young phenom in the breakdancing Olympic world here in the U.S. Alongside the young phenom in the dancing world, Riley Arnold, who was a rookie last year, as I mentioned earlier, and she absolutely captured the heart of America. Her and Harry Jowsey were a fan favorite couple, and Riley specifically has so many fans, and deservedly so. She had an incredible rookie year, and obviously she's part of a great history with the show, with her sister Lindsay being a big part of the history of the show as well. I think Steven and Riley are gonna go far in this competition. I don't think that's a shocking thing to hear, because most people are predicting them to go far already. But I'm excited to see this young couple turn it up on the dance floor. Then we have Tori Spelling, who of course is most known for her time on the hit TV show Beverly Hills 90210. Obviously an iconic show. I've never watched it, but I've heard about it for years. Obviously, we've had multiple cast members on the show appear on Dancing with the Stars, including Jenny Garth, the recently passed Shannon Dottery, and some other. Oh, Brian Austin Green, who would eventually meet his now wife Sharna Burgess on the show as well. So I think it's a pretty cool connection that Dancing with the Stars has with 90210, and now it continues. And Tori will be partnered up with Pasha Pashkov, who I mentioned earlier was partnered up with Carol Baskin a couple years ago, and he's been part of two of my favorite couples in the history of the show. In his short time on here, he was partnered up with Kate Flannery, who of course is known for her role as Meredith on The Office, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. And then last season, season 32, Pasha was paired up, with Ariana Madix, who I'm a huge fan of as well. So I think him and Tori are going to do a great job together. Pasha just finds a way to bring the best out of each one of his each one of his celebs that he's partnered up with. And I think this is going to be no different alongside Tori Spelling this season on Dancing with the Stars. Then next up, we have a guy. Remember when I was talking about Danny Amendola? I said he was on Special Forces, and one of his castmates from that is now on Dancing with the Stars with him, and that is Dwight Howard, the longtime NBA center, the NBA champion in the bubble finals with the Lakers, the Magic legend. I think he's gonna do a great job. I think America's gonna fall in love with his personality. We already got a short glimpse of it today as he was interviewed on the GMA set during the cast viewing. Yesterday, not today. Sorry about that. Kind of slipped up there. But yeah, I think Dwight's personality, his positivity, his smile, and then of course his partner, Daniela Carregat. She's in her short time, she's already become arguably one of the greatest to ever do it. She's always in contention for that Mirrorball trophy. She did it with Nelly. She's done it with Jason Mraz last season. And of course, she captured it all with Iman Shumpert. And I think her and Dwight are going to do a hell of a job. I think they're going to go far in this competition. And just like I mentioned with Jenna Johnson to start off, this Dancing with the Stars talk, I think Danielle, it goes the same for her. Whoever's partnering up with her, they have a chance to compete for that Mirrorball trophy. Then finally, the final couple, who was a surprise couple, who was not part of like that spoiler yesterday by Jazz myself, is Jen Tran, who of course is the most recent Bachelorette, and actually Tuesday night after the final rose, like I said earlier, she actually had to fly out straight to New York to be there for GMA on Wednesday. Same thing for Sasha Farber. He reportedly, like I mentioned before, had to fly over Tuesday night from LA to New York to be there for GMA. So yeah, Jen Tran will be partnered up with Sasha Farber. Of course, Sasha's a longtime pro on this show. Recently with Allison Hannigan, they made it to the finals last year after many people thought they'd be one of the first couples out. They showed improvement and progress each week. I always love the energy, good spirit, excitement, joy, and he always has that little kid type of energy. I always enjoy that from Sasha. I think him and Jen are going to be great together. I think this is a dark horse pick to win it all. I can really see them doing it. Obviously, I got to see Jen dance. I haven't seen her dance, of course, but I think I just have a great feeling about Jen and Sasha. But yeah, that's the cast of season 33 of Dancing with the Stars. The show will be starting in 3 weeks. 2 weeks from now. Sorry about that. 2 weeks from now. And I'm super excited. Next week's episode, I'll be talking Dancing with the Stars again. I'll be getting into my preseason predictions. I'll give a little preview of the premiere. And hope you guys enjoyed this portion of Dancing with the Stars talk. Alright guys, so now we're going to be talking about One Tree Hill. As some of you may have heard, some of you haven't heard, We found out a couple of days ago that One Tree Hill sequel series, I guess you could call it, is currently in the works at Netflix, and allegedly or reportedly Sophia Bush, who of course played Brooke Davis, and Hilarie Burton, who played Peyton Sawyer. They're at the what did I write here in my notes? They're at the head of the ship, right? They're at the helm of the ship. They're running the ship. We also have news that Danielle Ackles, who played Rachel Katina, and her husband Jensen Ackles, who's also an actor, they're gonna be part of the production team of this new One Tree Hill series. A couple things I wanna talk about here. Actually, before I get into my overall thoughts on this One Tree Hill sequel series, here are a couple things I wrote down in my notes. So it's allegedly being reported that Chad Michael Murray will not be part of this at all and will not be reprising his legendary role as Lucas Scott. And I don't think that should shock anyone. I mean, that my first thoughts were, oh, Chad's not going to be part of this. For those of you that don't know the history between Chad Michael Murray and Sophia Bush, so at the start of One Tree Hill in around 2003 or 2004, I believe, Chad and Sophia, they're in their early 20s. They're starring on One Tree Hill together. They got married, and Chad allegedly cheated on Sophia with Paris Hilton. At least that's the alleged story. And ever since then, Sophia hasn't, gotten along with Chad, which of course is completely expected. Like, I don't expect her to be friends with him or to get along with him after he cheated on her. But I just feel, in terms of this series coming back, 20 something years later, after that whole cheating scandal between Sophia and Chad, I just believe that for the sake of the show and the fans, and yeah, just the legacy of One Tree Hill, I don't know how you could do a One Tree Hill sequel series without Lucas Scott. And like I said, I'm not saying, oh, Sophia, you have to be friends with Chad, you have to accept him into your life. I'm not saying that. But I just feel like, yeah, just for the sake of the show, right? The legacy of the show, I wish like people could kind of put their feelings aside, like personal feelings, and just let the legacy of the show live on, rather than bringing personal drama into it. And with that said, that's not the only alleged personal drama happening for the sequel series. As for those of you that don't know, the other alleged leader of this One Tree Hill sequel series, Hilarie Burton, who, as I said, played Peyton on the show. She's allegedly in the feud right now with Bethany Joy Lenz, who played Haley Scott on the show. So then, I'm kind of assuming there hasn't been reports or anything. I'm not reporting anything. I'm not, saying this is true. But you could kind of assume already that Joy Lenz will have zero part of this One Tree Hill show. And then there's been no talk as well of having James Lafferty, who of course played Nathan Scott, Haley's husband, Lucas's brother. There's been no talk of him appearing on this One Tree Hill show as well. No, it'll be sad whenever this show does come to fruition and we're able to see it on Netflix. If some of these main stars of the original one aren't part of it, I think it'll be super sad for the legacy of the show. Obviously, you're gonna have the fans that are gonna watch no matter if like someone's missing from it, and I totally understand and I respect that. One Tree Hill is my favorite show of all time, and I always tell people it's not just a show to me. Like it means a lot to me. So many life lessons on it. It's just one of those extra special things, So it'd be kind of sad not to see Chad and Joy and some of these original stars appear on it. A couple other notes I wrote down here. So on the comment section of a couple, Hilarie did a post, Sophia did a post. Austin Nichols, who played Sophia's husband on the show, Julian, he did a post of his own as well on Instagram. But a comment I wanted to talk about here on Hilarie's post. So Brian Greenberg, who played Jake Jagowski, he was on the first couple seasons of One Tree Hill. Him and Peyton were people wanted them to be a couple, right, on the show early on. But, Jake ends up leaving early, and the rest is history. But, Brian was leaving some comments about, possible Jake and Peyton rekindling, right? Rekindling. And, people got excited, and I kind of understand it. But, spoiler alert, obviously, One Tree Hill came out years ago. But regardless, I don't like giving spoilers. But here's a spoiler for those of you that haven't watched and want to skip through. So Peyton leaves. She's not on the show for the whole series run. She leaves, and her and Lucas leave as a married couple, and they have a little baby girl named Sawyer Scott, right? So now with the alleged reporting that Chad's not going to be part of this, and then you see Brian commenting, I think it's easy to predict that maybe they kill off Lucas, and then Peyton's a widow and with a daughter, and then Jake Jagowski comes in to save the day, right? I mean, I don't want that to happen, but it's kind of feeling that that's kind of the direction we're heading towards. And at the end of the day, look, I'm not, I don't control the show. I'm not a writer. I'm not gonna be part of this show. But I still want to give my opinions because, as I said, this is not just another TV show to me, right? This is my favorite TV show of all time, and it means a lot to me, So I want to make sure to get my opinions out there with you guys and with the world. Let me know what you guys think about this potential One Tree Hill sequel series. All right, now to move on to another one of my favorite shows of all time, Gossip Girl. This one won't be a long topic, but a couple weddings actually occurred within the last week within the Gossip Girl universe. Ed Westwick, who of course played Chuck Bass on the show, he got married in Italy, and his ex-girlfriend, who he actually dated while they're both on Gossip Girl, also got married. Jessica Szohr, who played Vanessa on the show, she also got married. A couple fun facts about each wedding. So at Ed Westwick's wedding, we had Kelly Rutherford, who played Lily Vanderwoodson, in attendance, and then at Jessica's wedding, we had Chase Crawford, who played Nate Archibald, in attendance at Jessica's wedding. So I thought that'd just be cool to mention. Obviously, I talked about One Tree Hill, now Gossip Girl, two of my favorite shows of all time. And a couple of quick notes to mention related specifically to Ed Westwick's wedding. So at Ed Westwick's wedding, there's many pictures, many videos of this guy named Mohammed Turki. I don't know if many people know who he is. I feel, in terms of pop culture fans, like I feel those of you who are into blind items or who really do your deep dives, you might know who Mohammed Turki is. But those of you that don't really do any blind item research and stuff like that, you probably don't know who this guy is. But I just want to mention him really quickly because he's going to be kind of an ongoing topic going forward here on the Flame Entertainment and Sports. Mohammed Turki is a very powerful man in Hollywood. He's a big time producer, but not from an actual, how do I describe it? Not from the art of producing itself. He's more of a producer in terms of giving money, for movies to happen, right? And someone he's very much connected to. Actually, before I get into that, so yeah, he was in attendance here at Ed's wedding. He's been pictured with Ed a lot, and there's actually a video, right, of him alongside Kelly Rutherford. Kelly Rutherford gave a speech at the wedding saying, how proud and happy she is for Ed and all that. And then Mohammed was right alongside her. Mohammed was basically in every picture and video you saw of that wedding. So yeah, let's talk really quickly about Mohammed. He's very much connected to Zac Efron, who of course, part of, like I said earlier, I mentioned when I was talking about Britt Stewart, right, on Dancing with the Stars, I mentioned I'm a huge High School Musical fan. So of course, Zac Efron, right, we all love him and know him as Troy Bolton from the High School Musical trilogy. Unfortunately, for many years now, it's been alleged. It's all alleged. Remember that. Alleged for entertainment purposes only. In the blind item world, it's very much alleged and acknowledged that Mohammed Turki has a lot of control on the life and career of Zac Efron. Ever since Zac started hanging out with Mohammed many years ago, there's been multiple overdoses. There's been a lot of scary moments. A lot of times where people have been worried for Zac's health, and unfortunately, following this wedding in Italy, the following days, Mohammed was pictured with Zac at, let me get the name here. He was pictured with Zac at a gala called Gala Venezia 2024 in Venice, Italy, which was the location of Ed's wedding as well. But yeah, so Zac and Mohammed were hanging out over the weekend. This was Zac's first public appearance since his scary incident a couple weeks ago in Ibiza in Spain, after he was found in a jacuzzi, allegedly unconscious. I'm not gonna say he was because there hasn't been anything really put out like concrete from Zac's team on what really happened. but it's alleged that he was found unconscious in a jacuzzi recently in Ibiza. Then he spotted now, first time out since that incident with Mohammed Turki in Italy, and it just worries you. It worries me because of all the stuff I've read in recent time. It very much scares me. So yeah, remember that name, Mohammed Turki, because he's gonna be kind of, I guess you could call it like an ongoing topic on the Flame Entertainment and Sports going forward. Okay, so now to move on to the last couple topics. Okay, so now really quickly, we're gonna talk a little bit about Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco. Of course, Selena, she's one of my favorite, celebrities of all time. Benny Blanco, big time producer, right, in the music world. They've been together now for a couple months. Now, a lot of people are alleging that they may be engaged because recently Selena posted a selfie with Benny on her Instagram story, and she covered her ring finger. But then it's also being alleged that she was actually covering up a vape in the picture. But then after posting that picture and covering her ring finger, she was spotted over the weekend at a film festival promoting Emilia Perez in Colorado. She was spotted all of a sudden with a ring on her ring finger. Now I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite content creators in the pop culture universe, whatever you want to call it. His name is Antphrodite. You guys should all check him out. He's on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. He's on all of it. Check him out, Antphrodite. You go to antphrodite.com or just check him out on social media, YouTube, Twitch. Like I said, he's a psychic. He's a pop culture psychic. He's a great guy, and he recently did a reading on this alleged engagement between Selena and Benny. I don't want to spoil it because I don't want him to lose his views. I want him and to get his views, on this video. But just a couple things to point out, and Aphrodite's reading here about Selena and Benny. So basically, one of the main things from his reading that I picked up is that it seems as if Selena just does whatever she wants, and Benny doesn't get mad at her. And then it also seems that Selena is currently in a phase where she's trying to make other celebrity women jealous of her relationship. So yeah, those are kind of like some cliff notes. But for those of you interested in seeing that reading on Selena and Benny, make sure to go to Aphrodite's YouTube channel. Check out the video there. He does great stuff. Now to move on to another topic. So the VMAs are coming up next Wednesday, September 11th. So I just have a quick couple of notes here on the VMAs. A lot of it has to do with Sabrina Carpenter, who congratulations to her. Her new album, Short and Sweet, was just named number one on the Billboard charts. It's the first number one album of her career. Congratulations to Sabrina. Now to talk about her involvement with the VMAs, I have a big prediction. I think Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan, who's also a big controversial figure right now, right, in the pop culture world. I believe they're gonna recreate the famous VMAs kiss between Madonna and Britney Spears all those years ago. That's a prediction. You heard it here first, right, on the Flame Entertainment and Sports. Remember that. And then we also have Sabrina. She's gonna be performing. And right now, there's a lot of alleged drama within the pop culture verse, alleging some drama between Sabrina, Shawn Mendes, and Camila Cabello. Of course, Shawn and Camila were allegedly a couple for many years. They broke up. Then Shawn and Sabrina allegedly dated for some time. Then they broke up, and then Shawn and Camila got back together. And then on this Short and Sweet album, on Sabrina's album, there are allegedly multiple songs where Sabrina's calling out Shawn. And that allegedly made Camila mad. So it's going to be interesting that the three of them, each of them are going to be performing on the VMA stage. It's going to be interesting to see if they do anything together on the red carpet. Will Shawn and Camila show up together as an alleged couple? What's going to happen? Will there be any drama? I think it's just going to be a fun time. I don't think it's going to be anything too serious, but I'm excited to see what comes out of this alleged drama between this trio. And then another thing to mention, Sabrina, she's nominated for a lot of awards. Artist of the Year, she's nominated for Song of the Year with Espresso, Best Pop Artist, a couple other things. Also Taylor Swift, as always, she's nominated a lot. Song of the Year with Fortnite, Artist of the Year, she's nominated for a lot of things. And Best Collaboration, Fortnite with Post Malone. And then one of my other favorites is Olivia Rodrigo. She's nominated for Best Pop. I've been voting for her. That's the only one that she's nominated for that you can vote for. And look, you see her right here. I got Olivia right here on the studio wall. And I was able to see her in concert actually here in March. Her Guts World Tour in Miami. The first concert I've ever gone to by myself, and it was just incredible. But now the final topic. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. You see them up here, right on the studio wall, as well as the other corner right there. That's Tay and Trav as well. So Tay and Trav, what's going on with them right now? People are wondering, will Taylor be in attendance next week at the VMAs? I think there's a good chance she will be. I'm predicting that she will be there, as she is nominated. She's not scheduled to perform, but she is nominated for a lot of awards. So I think she'll be in attendance. That's my gut feeling. Another thing is, will Taylor, be attending Chiefs games? Now that she is on a break from the Guts, I mean not Guts, well, from the Eras tour until October 18th here in Miami. Will she be attending the Chiefs games? As you know, tonight is the first game of the season. As we have, Travis and the Chiefs, hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Will Taylor be in attendance at this first NFL game of the season? Gonna have to wait and see tonight. 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time is the kickoff. It will be broadcasted live on NBC and Peacock. Stay tuned to see if Taylor will be in attendance to watch Trav and the Chiefs take on Lamar and the Ravens. Hope you guys enjoyed, the entertainment portion of this episode. Now, let's transition to the sports world. All right, guys. Now it's time for the sports portion of today's episode of the Flame Entertainment Sports. On this episode, we're gonna only be covering the NFL, as the season, of course, kicks off tonight, as we have the back-to-back defending champion Kansas City Chiefs hosting Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Kickoff will be at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC and Peacock. Very excited for that game. But before I get into my thoughts on all these NFL topics happening, I'm going to go little by little, kind of previewing what I'm going to talk about now. So here we go. So I'm going to start off first with the overall NFL season preview. I'm going to be going into my predictions for the 7 teams I have making the playoffs in the AFC and the 7 teams I have in the playoffs in the NFC. Then we're going to go matchup by matchup in the playoffs. Then we're going to end, my Super Bowl prediction, my Super Bowl champion for the 2024 or 2025 season, with the Super Bowl occurring in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. And then following my season predictions, we're going to be covering some week 1 games. I'm going to bring in a segment that may be part of each sports segment or may not. It's called Gut Feelings. I'm basically going to give you whatever I feel in my gut. For example, last week in college football, I was very much feeling that Notre Dame would beat Texas A&M, and it did in fact happen. And so I was happy with that. So I'm going to start doing that. I have a gut feeling about a random game. Just going to mention it on here. We're going to do gut feelings. And then we're going to finish off with a little Thursday night preview, obviously, of tonight's game between Baltimore and Kansas City, like I said. And then we're going to do a little preview of the Jaguars versus the Dolphins. I'll be at that game at Hard Rock Stadium. Then we're going to do a little preview of Sunday night football between the LA Rams and the Detroit Lions. And we'll finish off with Monday night's game, which will be Aaron Rodgers and the Jets taking on Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers in San Fran. All right, guys, so let's begin. Like I said, we're going to start off here, my overall season, preview / predictions. So I'm going to start off first. I'm going to go division by division. Starting off in the AFC, I'm going to let you guys know which teams in each division I have making the playoffs. So we'll start off in the AFC East. And in the AFC East, I have 3 of the 4 teams making the playoffs this year. I have the Miami Dolphins in. They're my number 2 seed in the AFC. I have the Buffalo Bills in. They're my number 5 seed in the AFC. Then I have the New York Jets in as well, and they're my 6th seed. Then we're going to move on to the AFC North, where I have 2 teams making it. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers as the 3rd seed, and then we have the Cincinnati Bengals as the 7th seed. I know it might be a shocker. I didn't have the Ravens in here. I'm just, for some reason, I'm just feeling, the Steelers and Bengals more. I feel that the Steelers very much improved this offseason. They improved offensively by bringing in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Of course, Russell Wilson was named the starter. I believe that's an upgrade over Kenny Pickett at the position. And then you look defensively, they're able to snatch a great linebacker from a division rival as they acquired Patrick Queen from the Baltimore Ravens. I think that's going to be a huge boost. And at the end of the day, the main factor into why I have the Steelers going far is because of Mike Tomlin throughout his whole career. He's never had a season where he's gotten below 500, and I think this is going to be one of his biggest success stories in terms of being an underdog going into the season. Then we move on to the AFC South, which I know is going to be a shocker for a lot of people, as I have the Tennessee Titans actually winning the division with a rookie head coach, with Callahan coming over from the Bengals, former offensive coordinator. I think the Titans did a lot of great sneaky moves on offense and defense. Offensively bringing in Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd to pair up alongside DeAndre Hopkins, going to be a huge boost for second-year pro starting quarterback Will Levis. I think the running back position, obviously, they move on from arguably the greatest running back in franchise history, right? Derrick Henry. So he goes on to the Ravens, but they bring in Tony Pollard to be paired up with second-year pro, former LSU Tiger Tajay Spears. And then they have Julius Chestnut, who's a huge sleeper for me. He's their running back. I think he's going to have a huge impact this year for Nashville's team, specifically in the goal line area. Then we move on to the AFC West, where I have the back-to-back defending Kansas City Chiefs making it. Then to move on to the NFC, going division by division. So in the NFC East, I have one team making it. I have the Philadelphia Eagles. And I forgot to mention with the Titans, I have them as my 4th seed, and then the Chiefs as my 1 seed. But yeah, now to go back to the NFC. So in the NFC East, like I said, I have the Eagles making it, and I have them as my 2nd seed overall in the NFC playoff picture. Then we go to the NFC North. I have 2 teams making it in the North. We have the Detroit Lions as the 4th seed, and the Green Bay Packers as the 5th seed. Then we go to the NFC South, where I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming in as the 3rd seed overall, and the Atlanta Falcons getting that final spot, the 7th seed in the NFC playoff picture. Then in the NFC West, the 2 final teams I have here, we have the LA Rams as the number 1 overall seed in the NFC, and then we have the San Francisco 49ers coming in, the defending NFC champs as the 6th seed. Then now we go into the playoff bracket. Start off in the AFC. We have the 5th seeded Bills heading to Nashville to take on the 4th seeded Titans. And I have the Bills winning that game. Then in that same matchup, the 5-4 game in the NFC, we have the Green Bay Packers going into Detroit and defeating the Lions. Then we move on to the 6-3 matchup in each conference. We have the Jets as the 6th seed defeating the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Then we have another 6 seed win as the 49ers take down the Buccaneers in Tampa. Then we move on to the 7 versus 2 seed game in each conference. We have the Miami Dolphins winning at home, their first playoff victory in a long, long time in front of the loyal fans at Hard Rock Stadium, defeating Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Then we have the Atlanta Falcons heading into Philly and defeating the 2-seeded Philadelphia Eagles. Then we move on to the divisional round. We'll start off in the AFC, where we have the 1-seeded Chiefs defeating Aaron Rodgers and the 6-seeded New York Jets. Then we move on to the first matchup in the NFC divisional round, where we have the number 1 seeded LA Rams beating the 7-seeded Atlanta Falcons. Then we go to the second matchups in each conference in the division round. We have the Miami Dolphins once again winning at home at Hard Rock Stadium, this time defeating a division rival, the Buffalo Bills. Then we move on to the Green Bay Packers, the 5th seed in the NFC, defeating the 6th-seeded San Francisco 49ers. So our conference championship round, we have the 2-seeded Miami Dolphins heading into Arrowhead Stadium and defeating the back-to-back defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. Then in the NFC, we have the young Green Bay Packers led by Jordan Love, Coach LaFleur, and that young core there in Green Bay heading into Los Angeles SoFi Stadium and defeating the 1-seeded LA Rams. Then for Super Bowl, live from Las Vegas, we have the Miami Dolphins winning their first Super Bowl since the 1970s, defeating Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. So my Super Bowl champions are the Miami Dolphins. And I hope you guys enjoyed those predictions. Let me know if you have different thoughts. If you have different predictions, let us know on Instagram, TikTok, wherever it may be. Give us your thoughts, and we'd be happy, to hear all your opinions out there. Now to move on to the gut feelings portion. So for NFL Week 1 gut feelings, I have a couple random games where I have exact scores and everything. So I have the LA Chargers defeating the Las Vegas Raiders 21-17. Of course, the Chargers' new coach, Coach Harbaugh, goes from winning a natty in Michigan to joining Herbert in the gang with the Chargers. I have them beating newly acquired defensive lineman Christian Wilkins and the Raiders 21-17. And my other random gut feeling game of Week 1, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers narrowly defeating Kirk Cousins and the Falcons by a final score of 19-18. So, like I said in the beginning of the sports portion of the show, I don't know if I'm gonna have this, segment right every week because it's just random gut feelings. This is not me like being like, oh, I've been following, this Chargers Raiders game and the Steelers Falcons. It's just random gut feelings I got a couple weeks ago. I got them around August 20 something, I think August 21st or something like that. I wrote them down in my notes app on my phone and I wanted to share with you guys here on the podcast. And then finally, a little Thursday night preview as we have the Baltimore Ravens heading into Kansas City to take on the back-to-back defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is going to be a hell of a game. I think the Chiefs come out victorious in this one. And I think Patty and Tay Trav have a huge game. I think that defense led by arguably the best defense coordinator in the league, Steve Spagnuolo, I think they're going to be good to go. I know people are worried, at the corner position due to, Snead, L'Jarius Snead, leaving KC and heading to Nashville to join the Titans. I think the Chiefs will be fine. I think Chiefs is a hell of a player. I think he's going to make a huge impact for Tennessee. He's one of the reasons I have Tennessee winning their division. But with that said, I think Spagnuolo just finds a way. He knows how to put guys in positions to thrive at the best possible level. And I think that's going to occur once again in this first game of the NFL season. And then on the Ravens side, obviously, I know I don't have them making the playoffs, but that doesn't mean I don't have them being competitive. I think Derrick Henry is going to provide a huge boost for the Ravens offense, specifically in the goal line. I think they're going to have a couple extra touchdowns than usual in that area because of Derrick Henry's power. Obviously, one of the best running backs of all time, one of my favorite players to ever do it. It's going to be cool to see him, suited up in that purple and gold, but I still see him as a lifelong Titan no matter what. And then a little Jaguars versus Dolphins preview. As I said in the beginning of this, I'll be at that game at Hard Rock Stadium. I can't wait. First game of the season. Tua, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Mostert, Achane, Jalen Wright, Jeff Wilson. And defensively, I can't wait to see these guys. Obviously, the returning guys like Jalen Ramsey, Javon Holland, Jalen Phillips. Shout out to you. Then, some newcomers like Calais Campbell, Kendall Fuller, Jordan Poyer. I just can't wait. I think that linebacking core, this is the best linebacking core that Miami Dolphins have had in a very, very long time. Upgraded tremendously. You already had David Long, who you brought in last year from Tennessee, and he made a tremendous impact right away. And then you pair him up alongside Anthony Walker Jr., alongside Jordan Brooks. I think this Dolphins defense is going to be a lot better than people expect. And then a couple more games to preview really quickly. So the Sunday night football matchup, it's a playoff rematch of last year. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. Kind of one of those down to the wire type of games. Have the Rams traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Wait, actually, for the Dolphins Jags, I do believe the Dolphins win that one. So now go back really quick to the Rams Lions. I think this is going to be, like I said, down to the wire. I think the Rams do come out on top at the end. I think a little 2-minute drill, and the Rams are able to ice the game on a run down the clock and win on a game-winning field goal. But I do think it's going to be a highly competitive game. Two of the best coaches in the league, and Dan Campbell on Detroit, and then you have Sean McVay on the Rams sideline. And then finally, the final game of Week 1, Monday Night Football, the return of Aaron Rodgers. Of course, he got hurt last year, his first game as a Jet on Monday night, and the NFL puts him back on Monday Night Football against the team that most people thought he would be headed to following his exit from Green Bay, the San Francisco 49ers. I think this is going to be a really good game. I'm going to pick the Jets, actually, to win this. I think Rodgers has a huge comeback game, and it starts his campaign for Comeback Player of the Year. And I think the Niners, I think they're going to keep it close, but I know they finally got contract extensions done with Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams, but I believe it's going to be too little too late in terms of, I don't think they're going to be prepared enough to be able to fully compete in this Week 1 matchup against the New York Jets. And then really quickly, some quick Dolphin news. So a couple of days ago, the Dolphins extended head coach Mike McDaniel till 2028. I want to give some quick thoughts on that. My favorite part of that, about that decision to extend McDaniel, is that the Dolphins, to me, are showing something that most franchises in sports and most people in life nowadays don't show, and that is patience, right? they're showing McDaniel and the fan base, we love what you've done the first 2 years. All you've done is progress positively upwards, and we believe in you. We believe you're the guy to win now and into the future. So I think it's a tremendous decision by Stephen Ross and the whole Miami Dolphins organization. And I hope it's a model for sports teams and businesses in general, right? In today's world, to be patient, give people a chance. You don't win overnight. You don't become a champion overnight. It takes work. It's a journey. It's little by little, not just in football, but in life. So yeah, shout out to the Dolphins for that. But yeah, guys, it's gonna wrap up this sports section of today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You have any thoughts on NFL Week 1 or NFL season predictions overall? Let us know. We'd love to get your opinions on it. And yeah, I just hope you guys enjoyed this sports talk, this really NFL talk. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this week's game, starting with tonight's NFL kickoff game between the Ravens and Chiefs. Once again, it will be at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time, live on NBC and Peacock. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Flame Entertainment and Sports. Again, remember to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Flame_ES. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. New episodes will be out every Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time to 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure to keep it locked in here every Thursday morning. And of course, every single day on Instagram and TikTok at the Flame_ES. With all that said, till next time, everybody, take care.